a stream. So I hope everything goes smoothly, and please forgive us if anything doesn't go down to perfect expectations. So far this morning we are seeing some mixed results through the currencies, with the Aussie and the Euro trading higher to the USD, but the pound is currently weaker. We want to start with the US dollar after a strong finish to last week, but it did cap off to pretty weak days to the end of last week, and we did see a point of support. We did hope to see buyers hold out a bit firmer, but that didn't really eventuate. And at the moment, we will be looking to see if some of these higher moves we are seeing some of these lower moves we have seen on some of the risk currencies, if they're going to be exhaustion points, and if we will see some turnaround. So the euro is quite interesting at the moment. We are back at resistance, and unlike the Aussie, we have seen a fair bit more buying, and we want to see if buyers can break that previous high from last week to signal a possible continuation to get underway, or if we're going to see another fail and then a push lower, basically resuming some of this downtrend that we have been seeing for a long period of time now. And the same story is on the pound, but the pound was sort of, after the economic news that hit with the economic plan to help stimulate the economy in form of tax cuts, that really did send the market sharply lower. It definitely could be seen as an overreaction, and we saw a lot of buying through last week after Monday's plunge. And at the moment, we are seeing a little bit of weakness this morning, but again, we are looking and wondering if we can see another leg higher to break this point. We did do a report on it last week. We did see price reach this level, but again, if we do see a new round of selling come on and some further strength from the US dollar, could this be a reactionary trend in the current downtrend, and that could set up a new continuation lower. So we're going to go over to stocks. Stock futures are a little bit mixed. At the moment, we are seeing some gains on the US 30 and on the SPX 500. The Nasdaq is lower, and the ASX at this stage is the ASX 200 CFD is trading 0.28% higher. That's after some very negative leads to cap off September. Now, September was the worst month for US indexes since March 2020, and we all know what that was. That was the COVID pandemic sell-off. So just moving over to some of the US indexes, we'll start with the Nasdaq, and we do have a Fibonacci retracement on it, because we do want to note that we are seeing moves below the 50% point, and some moves are starting to push towards that 61.8% point. A lot of traders think that if we do get a break below that, that could signal that trend is well and truly over. The Nasdaq is below the 50, but we are seeing the S&P and also the US 30 starting to approach the 50% point. So if we did see some support on the 50% point, that's a good sign, but we'll have to just see if that does eventuate. And at the 61.8% point is a fair way away on those two markets, but it is a little bit closer on the Nasdaq after tech stocks have definitely been seeing at the hard end of the stick recently with the selling. So sorry, just one moment. Just that. I'll keep going. Sorry, it's just not highlighting this stage, so we just have to ignore that. We'll just keep going. Now, we want to move on over to oil as well, and then I want to touch on gold, because at the moment, if we look at oil on the daily, we are seeing something a little bit interesting so far. We've had this strong move higher last week. Within the end of the week, we saw some moves lower, and it does look like a continuation pattern at this point with a low break, but I'm not so convinced on that right now. This could become a higher low. The market could be a little bit drawn out on the sell side, so we are staying at this wonder now if we can see some support come in. If we see another move back down to these lows, then definitely would be kind of leaning towards to make another push lower. But while we see this bar here hold, and if we can see a higher low come into play and a break of this level during this week, we could start to look at if we're going to see a new push higher from buyers. And this is quite a similar story with gold as well. And we've had that move up. If we do see a new move lower, we'll look for a higher low. But we just are starting to see maybe some exhaustion and moving in with some of these moves lower. And we can see that trend break at the moment. But we do need to see a higher low just to signal that the buy demand is there. And quickly just covering off on some of the crypto markets. Crypto markets remain incredibly flat unless we are talking about BNB, which we'll get to soon. We can see here Bitcoin continues to trade in a really just strong range, and Ethereum is not much better. But this morning, now at this stage, we are just starting to test that short-term support that was that 1280 point. We're just saying to see a bit of a test there, but we have seen a few tests there previously, and they've all been sucked back in. We can see all of those tests here, which are those tails. So we really do need to see a strong break lower just to really signify that there could be a continuation. And at this stage, again, it just continues to trade pretty range bound. Now, BNB is a little bit different. We saw a nice push higher. We actually do have a trend break. There's plenty of support seen down across this level at the 264 point. We do have a new trend that's in play, but we have to see a break of resistance to really show that buyers are in control. So the first real point to break is on the short term at 285, and that secondary point is at 296. So apart from BNB, really, we're just seeing ranges and a lot of indecision on crypto after those strong moves lower. So this week, we can't really see any big catalysts coming out to support or push prices around. Mainly, apart from Friday, which we have the US employment data coming out, that will also be a big one for some of the risk currencies and to the USD. And the other one is the yen. Now, so we did talk about the yen in a report last week. It continues to trade in this holding pattern. We were looking at this pattern as more of a flag, but it's definitely starting to take a touch more shape of a classical form continuation pattern with a ascending triangle. These are pretty common to be seen in uptrends, and we definitely have an uptrend on this market at the moment, and we'll be looking to see if our buyers can take that next step and push higher. It's been a fantastic year so far for the dollar yen. We can just see how much action we have been seeing on this market. We have plenty of space between the last high to this last low, so that can be seen as a normal trend if you've ever studied Bill McLaren. And at the moment, we have that a possible continuation pattern here. And we'll be looking to see this week if buyers can take that next step. So some of the things that are coming out this week to sort of keep an eye on. We do have a German bank holiday today, and we do have a good bit of data coming out with the jobs data coming out this week. The RBA is going to be a big one tomorrow for the local market here in Australia. We also have New Zealand rates coming out as well. So the RBA is tipped to raise rates once again. We also have a fuel excise coming off in Australia. That's being discussed at the moment, how that's going to possibly affect the cost of living, which is already quite high here. Which is nothing special. The whole world suffering from higher prices and higher inflation at the moment. The majority of it, and then we have OPEC meetings coming up this week as well, which I feel could have a bit of an impact on current standings with oil. Oil is pretty low at the moment. We just discussed this pattern we're starting to see, and I'm sure that OPEC would like to see some support coming to oil because we have been a very strong downtrend so far, and that's all due to with inflation and global recession worries. It would be interesting to see what OPEC say this week, if they're going to try and put forward a plan that's going to try and help stabilize price or possibly move price higher. And then finally on Friday we have US employment. So plenty to come this week. So during the week we do have guest analysts speaking, and we hope you will be able to tune in and check out those. And that will be also on top of the rest of the Trade Zone Week Ahead series. And so that's it for me today. I keep an eye on the yen today and some of the risk currencies starting the week, and some of the crypto markets. We want to see if they can continue to hold that support. The dollar yen is one of I'm keeping an eye on today to see if we could see a break of that continuation pattern that we have been seeing. And this generally we want to see in today's European session as well. If the pound can continue to hold firm after that really volatile week it saw last week. So we wish you all the best for this week. Wish you good trading, and we do appreciate your time this morning for tuning in. So good trading, and bye for now.